Weather Scope.
Well, Danny has now been redesignated a tropical storm. It's undergone quite a transition over the past 7 days. For the latest information, we turn to Bob Stokes and our hurricane specialist, John Hope, in the Forecast Center.
Yes, thanks a lot, Jeanette. Tropical storm force winds extend about 145 miles to the east of the center of Danny, and we have our latest coordinates up right here. Tropical storm Danny. It was the remnants of Hurricane Danny, moved over land, brought heavy rainfall, flooding, tornadic activity, and now has re-entered the water over the Atlantic. 36.8 north latitude, 75.4 west longitude, 45 miles to the east of Norfolk, Virginia. Winds of 50 miles per hour sustained around the center, moving rapidly toward the northeast at 23 miles per hour. Pressure 1,000 millibars. Well, joining me now is our hurricane specialist, John Hope. The pressure's pretty low. We've got a fast-moving system toward the east-northeast. Of course, any jog toward the north, and then the northeastern coastal residents would have to be alerted, John. But I suppose the track has it going more in a northeasterly direction.
It looks as if the track is going to be essentially toward the northeast, at least for the next 24 hours. And that being the case, it's going to be taking the center farther, a little farther away from the coast as time goes by.
Well, I guess that's some good news for coastal residents. It looks like it's going out into the open waters for the time being.
It is, but as you pointed out, that if it should deviate just a little bit to the left of that track, then folks would have to watch it very carefully. We want them to watch it carefully anyway, because we don't know for sure sometimes about these turns. Right now, we're not seeing anything that leads us to believe that it will turn more to the left, but as long as it's out there and increasing, this is expected to strengthen somewhat. Folks need to watch it.
Yes, the waters are quite warm. We're going to be showing a map of that in a moment, but this storm has yielded some tornadic activity. We've got some video out of Norfolk, Virginia to show you. This was captured by home video. The twister was captured on video as it crossed the Elizabeth River toward Harbor Park this afternoon. The photographer shot it out of a window of a skyrise. 5 businesses and additional buildings were damaged. At this time, we have no reports of injuries, and we're glad to report that. In the meantime, we do have a visible satellite picture of what is now Tropical Storm Danny. And John, if you could comment on what you see here, please do so.
Well, Bob, those tornadoes and the severe weather you talked about occurred as the center of Danny was approaching the coast. Now it has moved off the coast, and hopefully in those areas things are going to get a lot better. Now, as we look at our satellite picture, we can see the center here right just about offshore, and again moving at a pretty good clip, about 23 miles per hour away from the coast.
Okay, the Doppler radar does show a more defined center, but as you mentioned earlier, not as defined as it was some hours ago.
Well, it's showing a little more defined again this hour, I guess. Right about in there, we can see where the circulation center is, and it's clearly evident, clearly off the coast, and all the heavy precipitation we have on the coast is receding now and moving out to sea, so it's going to be pretty decent weather just behind this in places like Norfolk and down to Elizabeth City.
But some coastal flooding possible around high tides along the New Jersey and Delaware coast tonight, so please be aware of that. We show the rainfall coming down, and as you were talking about earlier, the rain we see over New York, not associated with with Tropical Storm Danny. That's an old stationary front and a trough, but the wet weather is still quite active along the mid-Atlantic coast, John.
Right, and that is not, as you said, associated with the storm itself. And the reason they've had this tidal flooding there is they've had consistent onshore winds, which are going to continue for a while until this storm gets abeam or north of that area.
Okay, what kind of thinking do you possess now on the water temperatures as it relates to Tropical Storm Danny?
Well, you can see on our water temperatures here, this bright red here represents the Gulf Stream, and this is coming out over the water just a little bit north of the core of the Gulf Stream. Now, where you see the darker reds here, we're talking about 30 degrees Celsius, or that's somewhere around 85 or 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
And where you just see the beginning of the reds, we're talking about, maybe 78 or 79 degrees Fahrenheit. And our experience has told us that it requires a sea surface temperature of, say, 79 degrees or higher for a hurricane to either form or to sustain itself.
And so it's above that threshold, the water temperature?
Well, it is, but as it goes towards the northeast, it's going to be getting over waters that are a little bit cooler, so it may have a tough time. We do think, though, we do want to point out that we do expect it to increase some, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that this could go back to hurricane status.
Okay, not out of the realm of possibility it could go to hurricane status. We'll be keeping an eye on it. In the meantime, there's other weather information to talk about, and for that we go to Janetta Jones in the studio.
Last time during the past several weeks when we didn't get a drop of rain. Meanwhile, the rains have caused erosion and serious flooding at the Jersey Shore, like here in Ocean City. Runoff drains clogging with sand because the rains hit during the high tide and the water had nowhere to go. Bulldozers are being called in to clean up the debris in Ocean City. Dave Roberts outside now with a connection between our weather and that storm called Danny. Dave, I understand the storm's upgraded now to a tropical storm again. What's that mean for us?
Well, Danny has been reborn, right? He is now a tropical storm. Fortunately for us, Mark, he's moving away from us, so we're just going to be on the fringe of what's left of Danny. Let's take a look at action radar now, and you'll see the movement of the system. Watch the Carolinas here. You'll see Danny come out of the Carolinas. One frontal system in our area just moving offshore. That's the rain that we got earlier. Danny now has top winds of 50 miles an hour, moving to the east-northeast at 23 miles per hour. It is offshore. It's 45 miles east of Norfolk. Again, moving east-northeast away from us, and that's the good news. All right, for tonight, here's the call from AccuWeather. Just some rain and drizzle. Overnight low 58 degrees, appreciably cool for this time of year. We're getting some of that light rain and drizzle here, and the flooding's going to continue down there, but the worst of it should be over. The winds out of the northeast, though, this is a little mini nor'easter here, 15 to 30 miles per hour. That's tonight at the New Jersey shore. South Delaware shore, more rain on the way, still some of it heavy at times. Look at the winds down there, northeasterly 20 to 35 miles per hour. The bottom line on all of this is that...
Sand was in Center City earlier today as people tried to get to work. Looked like an umbrella convention on the street corners. Everyone had one. You had to today as people did their best to stay dry. Along the Admiral Wilson Boulevard, News 10 was right in the line of fire. As usual, when it rains, there was some minor flooding here and on some other low-lying roads in the area during this morning's rush hour.
Of course, the steady rain is a blessing for area farmers, but is it in time to save their dried-out crops? A split decision for David Yoder's corn crop. News 10 today at the Yoder family farm. This is in Telford, Montgomery County. More than 100 acres of corn there are now getting the much-needed moisture, but Yoder said the timing of the rain is just as crucial as the amount that falls.
A lot of the corn has really kind of shriveled up to nothing, and especially the earlier corn. Now the later corn, I think the rain will make a big difference. It'll come back again. We've lost some of it, but hopefully not all of it.
Yoder, in fact, has lost about half of his crops this year, and he's worrying about the financial hit he's going to have to take. John Belaris is getting the latest from Earthwatch, and John will be along with the details in just a few more minutes on News 10. I can see it now, Danny, the sequel, revisited, you know, the second part. I mean...
It's not going to be as bad for us as they had it, but boy, we're going to get it, huh?
Yeah, we are. It's not like, though, the movie Jason Returns, part, 5, 6, 7. This is Danny that has reformed along the Middle Atlantic coast. We'll get to that in a few moments. It's been a real busy week in the old weather center and bringing you lots of rain. That's good news. Let's check out what we have right now on our weather net. All right, outside our studios, we picked up over an inch of rain today. Cherry Hill, almost an inch, 0.65. Wilmington, almost an inch, 0.76. Cape May Courthouse, a little less than a half an inch of rain. Okay, the high officially today, it was a cool one. This is normal for late April, 65 degrees. The normal high should be 87. Record high 95, set back in 1987. Yeah, he's back. It's Danny. Temperatures in the 60s everywhere you look in July, in the 60s, unseasonably cool, but we're getting the much-needed rain. Okay, what we've had in July before all the rain, less than an inch. Below normal, 2.5 inches. That was up until we had the rain. Now, a little liquid gold came down, and we got some much-needed rain. Let's check it out over the past several days. Tuesday, we picked up a half an inch of rain. Wednesday, almost an inch. That was yesterday. And today at the airport, 0.30, but that's an exception to the rule. Many places picked up anywhere from a half an inch to over an inch today. So for the total for July, 1.82 as of today. So we're just 1.38 below normal. All right, so we're catching up in the old rain department. Let's look at the Doppler radar. You can see a heavy band of rain still to the south and east. We're located up here, southern Jersey here, Delaware right here. Look at all that rain. More rain to come, but most of it will move off to the north and east. Why? Watch this. Danny has redeveloped. Now watch down here over the Carolinas about 12 hours ago. We put Danny into motion. Watch the eye begin to develop off the Virginia beach right now, moving to the northeast about 23. That is Tropical Storm Danny. Winds sustained at 50. There's the heavy bands of rain associated with Danny trying to work its way up the coast. So southern Jersey, Delaware, you may get some more heavy rain late tonight, early tomorrow morning as Danny begins to whistle on up the coast. This system may even become a full-fledged hurricane once again and head perhaps towards Cape Cod, eastern Long Island. Okay, if you're plotting Danny, Danny is moving to the northeast at 23, winds at 50, plotting 36.8 north, 75.4 west, right off Virginia Beach by about 40 miles. Forecast for tonight. Oh boy, occasional rain. It'll be mainly heavy south and east of the city across southern Jersey and Delaware. Breezy around town, 62, but sure gets the action tonight. Increasing wind down there, heavy rain, scattered T-boomers, some tidal flooding. High tide tonight, midnight, morning clouds. Tomorrow, drizzle, breaks of afternoon sun with highs around 80. So
With a
Dave, good day for them outside, huh? Lots of rain.
Yeah, lots of rain, Mark. Appreciably here in the Philadelphia area. We got off easy from some other areas. Atlantic City down at the airport close to 3 inches. The Allentown area between 3 and 6 inches of rain. Here in Philadelphia, under an inch. Take a look at action radar and you see where the location of now tropical storm. It's a tropical storm again. That's Danny we're talking about. You see it just hanging off the coast there. It's offshore. Norfolk, Virginia, about 45 miles east of Norfolk, moving northeasterly 25 miles an hour, but the top winds are 50 miles an hour. The good news is it's moving away from us, and in doing that today, it pulled a lot of the moisture out of the greater Philadelphia area. All right, let's take a look at the 5 o'clock numbers, and we'll get right to the rest of the forecast. 63 degrees at present, humidity 89%, the barometer 30.05, it is falling. Winds out of the northeast, that cooling breeze at 14 miles per hour. Yesterday's high, 71. Today's high, 65. Normally we should be at 87. What a change. And our low, 62 degrees. A temperature variance of just some 3 degrees. All right, what's going to happen tonight? Well, we're still looking for some rain and drizzle. We've got the drizzle here on City Line Avenue as I speak. Some lake fog. In some areas it could be dense. So if you're going to be out later on tonight, be careful. 58 degrees, especially down at the shore points. For tomorrow, we're looking for clouds in the morning, then some sun in the afternoon as we recover. A high of 80 degrees come tomorrow. And you folks down at the Jersey Shore and the Delaware Shore points, the same situation down there. Things are going to clear out. It may take a little bit longer down there. And Saturday, we're looking for warm and humid 88 degrees. And on Sunday, looking ahead, Mark and Lisa.
The Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
Well, Danny's been back. We've been tracking it for a whole week, and yeah, it's tropical storm again. How about that? And you know what? This is the first time ever I've seen a tropical storm develop over land. John Hope, I was talking with him. First time he's ever seen it too. And why did that happen? I'll tell you in a second. Officially, it wasn't designated a tropical storm until it hit the coast, but you could see it developing earlier this afternoon. Tropical storm Danny, latest coordinates as of 5 p.m. Eastern, 45 miles east of Norfolk, Virginia. Top sustained winds at 50. It's moving northeast at 23, so it's now packed its bags. It is heading out fast. Pressure 1,000 millibars. Here's the latest satellite picture. Where is Danny? Danny's center right here off the Virginia Capes, and it is moving out in a hurry. All the rain in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, not with Danny. That was a different system there. We had a front around, but the tropical moisture, where it did move in, you know, a little bit of a recap first of all. Back over the course, if you remember a week ago when it made its way up through the Gulf, Mobile, 40 inches of rain around Dauphin Island, and I know a lot of the gauges said 25 or 30 inches, but when you have hurricane force winds, a lot of the rain not dropping into the bucket there. So the Doppler radar estimated about 40, so let's just say that. All the way up toward Atlanta, the northern suburbs of Atlanta, 4.5 to 6.5 inches of rain. Then up toward Charlotte and over into central North Carolina, some of the totals over 10 inches of rain. And this morning, Danny actually started developing over land. Why would that ever happen? And you know what? You need warm tropical water for a tropical system to develop. Well, essentially what happened was northeast North Carolina, the ground saturated, and it has been hot into the 90s. So there was a huge amount of moisture in the atmosphere, warm, sultry conditions there. And as the circulation made its way over to northeastern North Carolina, this tropical system thought it was out over water, and you could see that circulation really developing, and it continues to develop as it heads off the coast. Here's the latest radar. Still some storms across Carolina's Piedmont, but look at that center off the Virginia Capes and moving on out pretty quickly. Here's our Doppler out of southeastern Virginia, the Tidewater. Earlier today, some tornadoes down to Kitty Hawk. Report that waterspout passed over the Wright Brothers monument there, memorial, and actually a lot of cars damaged in the parking lot there. There was a girl hurt, I believe also from another waterspout up at Duck, and several tornadoes in the Tidewater area all the way down to Chesapeake. Reported tornadoes and businesses damaged. So one of the things that you have with tropical systems is tornadoes, and quite a number of them today, southeastern Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. But the circulation center is moving away, so the rain's about to end around Norfolk. You have one little band right here over to Ocean City, Salisbury, and the eastern shore of Virginia. It's pulling away. Pretty soon, in the next few hours, it will be much drier. What else is going on in the tropics? Of course, we did have Danny. It's taking a hike, and it should, for interest up and along the northeast coast, I should have talked about this. Right now, we think it's going to pass east to Cape Cod, and certainly all the rain, as I was mentioning, Hunterdon County, New Jersey, since this morning, almost 6 inches of rain, huge amount of rain. Well, the tropical system should be taking its way off east of Cape Cod. Over to the Gulf of Mexico, mostly fair skies, nothing tropical developing. We do have an upper air low interacting with a tropical wave here. You see some outflow boundaries, that cold rush of air from the tropical systems. Nothing organized here.
Zits! What you need is Igea Clear. It gets rid of those ugly pimples in seconds without needles. Simply touch the tip of Igea Clear to your pimple and it disappears right before your eyes. Squeezing irritates your skin and messy creams seem to take forever. But Igea Clear sends a pulse of negative ions directly into the pimple, destroying the bacteria and clearing up your skin. Just look how it got rid of Danielle's blemishes. It made a world of difference for Justin. And Igea Clear is the only thing that worked for Lisa. Now you too can have the clean, vibrant skin you've always wanted. Order now and we'll also include this special 2-step skincare system absolutely free, along with an ironclad guarantee. Order your Igea Clear now.
Order your Igea Clear for only 4 easy payments of $29.95. If you're not completely satisfied with Igea Clear, keep the 2-step skincare system, a $40 value, as our gift. Call 1-800-793-9955.
Our depression in the Gulf of Mexico is
to a tropical storm.
Hurricane Danny came ashore there earlier today.
Before Hurricane Danny became a threat, the Weather Channel was there for you, forecasting around the clock.